All right, finishing up. Sorry for having to go to a part two. I just photography is one of my hobbies, and I like taking photos of some great natural landscapes. So I don't know if it's a good habit or bad, but got so many beautiful photos on my camera that I just don't go through it enough and clean it out. That's why I wasn't able to get the whole podcast on one video cut. But to finish up, I was talking about Rusev and John Cena. I just read on 401mania.com that they are the Atlanta guys. I mean, y'all should be happy to hear this. Lana is going to be at WrestleMania. Supposedly, WWE's tailors are finishing up her special outfit, whatever she's going to be wearing. I'm sure it's going to be beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous fucking woman. Be happy to see her back. So it'll be interesting to see how she plays into that match. I was just complimenting Rusev on WWE and Rusev both for what they've done with him. It's harkening back to the days of Nikolai Volkov and Iron Sheik, and I wish I could remember the gentleman's name, but there was a Russian that was it Koloff? No, I can't remember, but had a feud with, actually I think Sting maybe even feuded with him for a while back in the old NWA. But I really love what they've done with Rusev. However, I do think that the undefeated streak for the evil foreign villain going to come to an end at WrestleMania. John Cena probably going to bring that U.S. title back home. And so even if you're not a big John Cena fan, he's going to bring prestige back to that title. Make it mean something again. And I love what they've done with the feud with these two the past several months. The beatdown that Rusev put on Cena on Raw also, I think, really helped build this match. And we're going to get a good payoff. But I think Rusev's undefeated streak comes to an end Sunday. Now, moving on to the big co-main events, or you will, the heavy hitters, the things that are really going to sell WrestleMania this year to the casual fans. Undertaker and Bray Wyatt. Now, I think this is going to end up stealing the show. Some people say, that a lot of people act surprised that Undertaker's coming back to work another Mania. I'd always heard from authorities, people like Jim Ross, that it was always 50-50 as to whether Taker would work another Mania again, and it was always, the decision always was left up to him. And obviously, it's a very big vote of confidence by both WWE and Mark Calloway, Undertaker, that he's decided to come back. A big vote of confidence for Bray Wyatt that Taker is going to work this match. And, as Bray keeps saying in the creepy promos, "I'm the new face of fear," in that crazy voice of his. Sorry if that wasn't the best Bray Wyatt impersonation, but just trying to do it real quick off the fly. I hadn't prepared, or practiced that routine. But anyway, should be an awesome match. I'm not of the opinion that Bray Wyatt has to win in order to go over here. Because if you think back to some of the past WrestleManias, like, for instance, when Randy Orton and Batista were younger, and I think they had both already won a world title before they worked with Undertaker during the streak. Orton worked with Taker at WrestleMania 21, Batista at 23. But those were great matches they had with Undertaker, and at several points it looked like that either one of them were going to break the streak. Of course, Undertaker ends up outlasting them. Winning streak continues, but that put Orton and Batista over, and I think it shows and improves that a younger guy can go over against Undertaker, even though they lose to him at WrestleMania. And also, to a lesser extent, CM Punk was already a big star. He had his 434-day title reign had come and gone at that point, but he worked with Taker at WrestleMania 29. Again, even though Undertaker ended up winning the match, that a lot of people thought that was a Match of the Year candidate. That obviously made CM Punk look very strong. I think they could do the same thing here with Bray Wyatt. Interesting decision by WWE to not have Undertaker appear at all until WrestleMania. I think some of this kind of goes with the WWE Network. They feel like it's only, you're giving a show away for $10. They maybe don't have to sell it as hard as they did in the past, and they're trying to get people to pay $50, $60 for WrestleMania on pay-per-view. But, you know, it's an interesting decision to just have the lightning strike the, light Bray's wicker chair of fire and everything. However, this is going to be a great match. I really think Bray Wyatt is going to do a pretty good number on Undertaker. He might hit one or two Sister Abigail's, possibly try to hit that move on the outside. He's going to pull out all the stops. Obviously, with him being a heel, he's going to cheat to try to beat Taker. I think Taker survives in the end. I think he's going to hit a tombstone. I think we need to see Undertaker go over, quite frankly, after Brock Lesnar just obliterated the streak a year ago. And whether this is Taker's last Mania or not, we'll see. But I really think that match is going to steal the show, and it should be great. When's the last time, by the way, that you can remember two guys that are going to have crazy, cool entrances working together one match? These kind of crazy, dark entrances. I can't remember it ever really happening before. We had two wrestling characters like this. So the entrances alone going to be very interesting to watch, and that match should be a lot of fun. Also, man, isn't it great to see Sting finally in WWE? He's finally going to get his WrestleMania moment. And I know a lot of people saying, well, they think it's too little too late for Sting. Quite frankly, I think those people are full of shit. Who hasn't been happy to see Sting on Raw and on, making appearances, starting a Survivor Series to come out. As they talked about in the promos, Sting sees himself as a vigilante. He's back to fight. In that promo, a lot of people were making fun of because they amplified his voice. He talked about how, he stood up against the broken authority and the injustice of the NWO. When he was franchised with WCW, he tried to save WCW. Weave that into this storyline, and he's saying he's coming out to protect the guys' careers who were being hurt by Triple H and the authority. And I like the storyline here. I think they've done about as well as they can with it. I love Sting's promo with Stephanie and Triple H from this past Raw. I like the fact that a couple of different times now we've seen Triple H and Sting in standoff. Sting with his bat, Triple H with the sledgehammer. This should be an awesome match. I wouldn't be surprised if Triple H puts a bit of a beating on Sting. There might even be some blood in this match. I know they've veered away from blood in recent years, but I think it's going to be a very good match. We're going to get a great payoff. I think in the end, Sting is going over. I know people have said they're concerned Triple H buries people. Last year, I think that was disproven. He put over Daniel Bryan in a big way in a match that was a lot better than what a lot of people thought it would be. Can't wait to see Sting get his WrestleMania moment, and that should be one of the better matches, definitely one of the biggest attractions of the night. Lastly, we got Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns, and as I touched upon earlier, Lesnar has supposedly re-signed with WWE. That could change the game here a little bit. Reigns still getting a pretty chilly reception at the Staples Center for Raw on Monday. Man, there's still a lot of people who, think Reigns is having his handed to him or what have you. He's still got a lot of critics out there. So I think both guys know that this match has a lot to live up to. And of course, you got Paul Heyman at ringside. That's going to make it more interesting. He's the Bobby Heenan of our era, the greatest manager of this wrestling era. I think Bobby the Brain probably is the best manager of all time. Like I said, they know that this match has a lot to live up to. I think they're both going to work hard to make sure it's a kick-ass match. And, quite frankly, this is a tough one to call. I'm going to go ahead and stick with my guns. I'm going to say Roman Reigns, the babyface. He's a babyface heading into Mania. He may not stay that way. You know, they could do a switch here. They could do a double switch, similar to Bret Hart and Stone